Our top focus on 5 Live, the row that's erupted over US President Donald Trump's comment on India's air quality being filthy. Speaking at the final US presidential debate, Trump described the air in India, China and Russia as filthy as he defended his decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. Now, Trump said that the accord would have made America a non-competitive nation. In fact, these comments were made while Trump attacked Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden on climate change. Now, Joe's campaign team later posted a Modi-Trump hug picture, sarcastically calling it a hug with Modi from filthy India. Congress leader Kapil Sibal used Trump's remarks to take a potshot at Prime Minister Modi, who has often addressed Trump as a friend, and said that this was the result of the Howdy Modi event eventually. Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena has, however, called Trump's comment as unfortunate and reminded Trump that while India stands committed to climate change goals, US chose to withdraw, much against the wishes of many Americans.
Look at China, how filthy it is. Look at Russia. Look at India. It's filthy. The air is filthy. The Paris Accord, I took us out because we were going to have to spend trillions of dollars, and we were treated very unfairly. When they put us in there, they did us a great disservice. They were going to take away our businesses. I will not sacrifice tens of millions of jobs, thousands and thousands of companies because of the Paris Accord.
To make such remarks about the biggest democracy of the world is wholly uncharitable and unpalatable. We hope that Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, who only does puppy jhappi to Donald Trump ji, he will take note of such remarks and lodge the India's protests to United States of America, who's our friend and ally.
Now remember, this is not the first time that Trump's attacked India. Multiple times, multiple attacks, he's come up with some harsh statements against India, despite the kind of bonhomie he and Prime Minister Modi has displayed all along. Now, let's take you through the past attacks that Trump has made on India. On September 2020, Trump has accused India of not giving correct COVID numbers. He says that India has not been transparent with its COVID count. That's what Trump said. Then in April 2020, Trump threatened India of consequences on halting hydroxychloroquine's export to the United States. And then comes June 2019, when Trump slammed India's high tariff on Harley-Davidson. Now, this is time and again that Trump comes up with these harsh statements against India. Even in May 2019, Trump in fact said that India does not have good water and air. He in fact repeats it yet again. Let's take you through what he says in January 2019, when he mocked Prime Minister Modi for funding a library in Afghanistan. And then October 2018, he called India as the tariff king. Now, these are multiple times that Trump has been quite harsh towards India, despite the kind of friendship that he claims to have with Prime Minister Modi. Now, here, let's take you through dirtiest air in India is what Trump has called in his speech. He's in fact said that India's air is the filthiest, along with China as well as Russia. Now, these are the figures where you're seeing China at 47.7, the air quality, and India at 83.2, the air quality, and you have USA 7.7. Now, this is the figures that's coming in, that PM 2.5, the air quality, where India shows possibly the highest with 83.2. So the question does remain, what Trump said, is it really wrong? Is he really speaking about the real picture of what we see here in India? Now, let's take you through the guests joining us to give us a small glimpse into what the reality is, and if at all, this kind of statement coming in from Trump, what does it really speak of India and the United States relations? Now, we have Sriram Sundar Chaulia, who's a world affairs analyst, joining us. We have Vimlendu Jha, who's an environmentalist, joining us. We have Sarah Shah Halim, who's also an activist. Now, let me take it first with Sriram Sundar. Mr. Sriram, here we're looking at the kind of relation between Prime Minister Modi as well as Trump. They've always had the kind of affection, at least that's what they've displayed it time and again, which really gives us that kind of confidence that United States is always going to be in support of India, at least with Trump at the helm of affairs. But here on a public Forum, a debate when all eyes are on Trump. He calls India's air as filthy. He could be right on a certain level, but at the end of it, it's quite hurtful to say the least, considering the kind of affection he has towards Modi, calls him a friend time and again.
Yeah, Nabila, we have gotten used to these bobs from Trump. I mean, the thing is, you have already listed many other things he said about us on trade and even earlier on our environmental problems. I think what Trump has ignored, as a populist and a transactionalist and a narrow America First agenda is, the responsibility that the U.S. has towards climate change, as a whole. And we have been calling their bluff many times by raising the issue of climate justice. Because if you look at the per capita carbon emissions, you're right that the air quality in the U.S. is right now superior to much better than what it is in developing countries. But the reality is, both the stock of the carbon that they have emitted historically over the last 200 years of industrialization, and even in proportion to the population is 16 metric tons. That's what the US emits every year in terms of carbon. India's carbon emission is actually less than 2 metric tons. So it's just not comparable. But for Trump, he's not into all these, policy nitty-gritty. He just is trying to make a political point, get across, his rivals, and try to run them down with some kind of arguments that sound plausible for his base, which is believes
the
that
friendship that he displays with India.
So that's the mindset he's bringing to the table.
What's with the affection he shows to Prime Minister Modi? Is that only for war?
Hyperbole and the rhetoric that he issues from time to time. We've gotten used to this.
Asking you on the kind of relationship, but let me take this to Vimlendu Jha joining us as well. Vimlendu, what Trump has said, is it right or wrong? Does it offend you?
No, it is, no doubt India's air is a global embarrassment. No doubt India is one of the most filthiest country on this planet. No doubt what you and I are breathing today in Delhi is pure poison. So therefore, let's there be no confusion. As in, if we are feeling embarrassed about it, we better feel embarrassed about our air, our quality of water, and our state of affairs vis-a-vis environment and environmental governance. That's point number one. But this coming from Trump in the backdrop of his justification for withdrawing from Paris Pact is very unfortunate, is very juvenile, and it's actually filthy because, as the previous speaker also said, as in America is the largest exporter of solid waste. America, historically is the greatest emitter. Right now is the second largest greenhouse emitting country. Trump himself has actually diluted over 70 to 75 environmental laws in America. A lot of reason why countries like India and many developing countries are poor or are polluted and filthy is because of the policies of first world or of developed countries. As in, we've almost become a production backyard for these rich countries, and that's one of the reasons why our air, our water, our river bodies are actually polluted. So I don't feel embarrassed, as in what he said is very, very right. We should accept that our air is filthy and our local environmental governance is filthy, because of which our air and our water is filthy. But this coming from almost like a clown of a president called Trump, who lives in denial when it comes to issues of climate change, who's actually single-handedly diluted a lot of decades work that has happened in climate, it's very, very unfortunate.
Absolutely. Like, he spoke in self-defense, trying to defend why the United States withdrew from the Paris Accord there. Saira Shah, this has taken a political twist and turn with, you have Kapil Sibal of the Congress now jumping in, saying that this is all the result of the Howdy Modi event. This is because Prime Minister Modi gave him that kind of comfort space, which is why he picks on India every time he wishes to try and gain points with his own people, but slamming India at public forums wherever he wishes to. Do you think this is because Prime Minister Modi has taken him too lightly?
See, Nabila, if we know that when President Trump was visiting India, we had this Namaste, Trump event, yes. And we saw the bonhomie between the President and our Prime Minister Modi. That was a time when the rest of the countries were already implementing strict lockdowns in our country, and we had this huge, welcome Trump event in India, right in the middle of a pandemic where the other nations were paying cognizance of this growing pandemic. Now, considering Trump and his remarks, I feel we shouldn't get offended, because here we have seen the Bonhomie, and I don't think there's anything wrong, in stating facts, because, he's calling a spade a spade. I mean, look at the appalling rate of air, especially in North India. Look at the fuel emissions. Look at our entire dirty diesel exhaust fumes. Look at our construction site dust that is coming in. Look at, the kind of havoc the pollution levels play during the crop burning. And also the rising industrial emissions. This has really created a black smog. For 3-4 months you can barely breathe. If you come to Delhi, say in October till January, you can barely breathe. So I think it's time, let's take this as an opportunity rather than an insult to better ourselves. Let's take it as a critical appreciation of where and how we can better ourselves, because today, teenagers, they're carrying black deposits, in their lungs. And earlier, if you talk to any doctor, any medical practitioner, they will tell you that earlier 80 to 90% of people with lung infections were smokers. However, now the count is 50% of people who are infected with some kind of a lung disease. They're non-smokers. So where has the lung disease
what you're saying is that this is our responsibility to fix. The situation is out of hand, and that's exactly what I'm going to bring to you in just a bit. But what we see here is the United States, the cumulative emission which is choking the world. In fact, United States is contributing 22% of that emission, whereas India, and compared to it, is contributing barely 2%. For a country like the United States being the largest contributor in emissions, here is United States President Donald Trump, despite the kind of friendship he has with India, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, decides to embarrass India on the global forum. Now, let me take you through, like you rightly said, the situation is going out of hand. We've got to introspect. Delhiites this morning have woken up to yet another smoggy morning as toxic air continues to blanket Delhi's sky. And according to the Central Pollution Control Board data, Delhi's air is in a very poor category. In fact, Delhi's air quality index was about 372 until 1 p.m. today, which may cause breathing problems to most people on prolonged exposure, is what experts say. Remember, we're right at the thick of the coronavirus pandemic. This is a time where one can expect a second wave of COVID-19 during the winters. We already know what's happening in Europe. Reports of a second wave have already come in during the winter now. It's setting in. In fact, Delhi's Alipur, Bhavna and Jahangirpuri have the worst air quality. It's in the severe category in these areas, while places like Anand Vihar, ITO, Dwarka, among many other places, have registered very poor quality air. Health experts say that they have witnessed an almost 15% rise in the number of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or even asthma patients who are coming to them. And stubble burning, of course, like we've heard over the recent few weeks, is now the major cause of pollution in Delhi. In fact, states like Punjab, Haryana and parts of western Uttar Pradesh, stubble burning is the biggest factor that's contributing to air pollution in Delhi. And the SAFAR data suggests that almost 1,500 farm fires have been spotted in neighboring states until yesterday. And that's contributed to 10% of Delhi's air pollution.
Delhi's AQI, or the air quality, is in the very poor category today. For the past 1 week, it has been deteriorating every day consistently. We are standing on Rajpath, where on one side we have the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is not visible at the moment. There is a layer of smog, and on the other side is India Gate, which is just not visible because it has been covered by thick smog. Experts are of the opinion, as winter sets in, we could see the pollution in the national capital rising. On the other hand, are the farm fires in Punjab, which are still going on unabated. This year too, doctors and experts are of the opinion we will see a repeat of what happened last year, where Delhi's air quality was plunged into hazardous levels. This is Aishwarya Paliwal reporting for India Today with camera person Alok Das.
Well, it's not just Delhi. There are several other states across the country which has also recorded very poor air quality. But let me take you through a few states, including Delhi being on top. We know now that it's 375 just this morning. But so far, the average in Delhi, the air quality is 224, which is all right. But on certain days like today, it spikes. Then you have Chennai, where the air quality is 163 in Chennai. And you have Hyderabad there, where the air quality is reported at 161. And then you have Mumbai with the air quality at 114. You have, after that, Ahmedabad, where the air quality is now registered at 98. And you have Bengaluru, where the air quality is all right, it's at 62, and Kolkata at 57. Now, the national capital, Delhi, seems to be the worst affected, right? After that is Chennai and then Hyderabad. We're looking at the situation, not very pleasing. Now, let me go to back to our guests joining us. In fact, Mr. Sriram, here we're looking at the situation in India also not very well. We're looking at the air quality across the nation, not just in Delhi, in Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, several other places across of India where the air quality is severe. We're looking at days where it spikes. And this is a time, a COVID-19 period, where if situation aggravates, we're looking at the number of deaths also increasing. How do we introspect as a nation here, considering what Trump has said? He could have been opportunist, but shouldn't we be looking inward?
Yeah. Of course, we have governance problems, and there's also the issue of, state-society cooperation. And environmental movement needs to get stronger. There are lots of issues, the farmers in Punjab and Haryana. But I just want to, take back to the question of Trump. You see, it's not about Modi, Trump, Bonhomie failing. That's actually a red herring, because Trump has not pleased anybody. No ally or partner has been left unscathed in the last 4 years. He's a very unique kind of anti-establishment politician who's been following a kind of a populist approach to the world. So nobody has actually been left without being insulted or offended by Trump. So I think we should take aside the assessment that this is a failure of Modi's foreign policy. I don't think so. He tried his best because we needed this strategic partnership for other reasons. And we said, okay, if this is the cost of having a strategic partnership to counterbalance China and for other reasons, for counterterrorism and such things, we will accept some of these, outrageous things he says, not in the sense accept as in, silently absorb it, but, take it as a operating cost of this relationship. But I think the relationship has gone forward, whether Trump, says these off-the-cuff remarks or not. The point is the relationship is moving forward. And even if Trump gets a second term, and even if we have to work him a second time, we have to think about all these consequences before, being, saying that we must issue a strong protest. Most of the time people don't care much for Trump's, asides like these. So I don't think we should be making a mountain out of a molehill as far as Trump's insults go.
Don't you think, as much as we've got to look inward, don't you think it's time to toughen up against Trump? How could he possibly embarrass India time and again on international platforms, and we're still so soft on him? For what?
No, I think, we should not be engaging in a tit-for-tat with populists who have got a loose tongue. I think Prime Minister Modi has a dignity and a stature, and, we don't respond like this. When he's stooping low, we should be staying high and talking about the broader relationship. That is diplomacy. It's not about, showing outrage over everything and giving it back to him word for word. We don't have to do that. We already criticized the US's record on climate change.
Mr. Sriram says that we've got to look inward quite clearly. We have to. Where do you think the Modi government over the last years of governance has gone wrong in ensuring that our environmental issues are fixed, our air quality is breathable?
See, Modi government, which is the central government and respective state government, they have done nothing. In fact, if they have done anything, they've only done damage to our environment. If you look at last couple of months, a huge debate around dilution of environmental impact assessment, which would primarily mean that our environment will be further damaged in the name of development, in the name of growth. There'll be more and more projects that will actually be sanctioned. So I think, as much as people are shouting about Trump, and I know that Trump should look inward himself, but it should be a wake-up call. As in, we should not get so outraged by what is right, calling spade a spade. In that sense, I don't think Modi government has done anything. The entire Swachh Bharat, imagine what kind of a Swachh Bharat are we talking about when your landfills are on fire and when there's garbage everywhere and our rivers are black and brown. So therefore there is only lip service, mere PR that has actually happened in the name of environment. In fact, the claim to fame of our Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar is that, he wants to clear the files in within 2 months' time. So it's almost become an environment clearance minister. And the same thing actually applies for Arvind Kejriwal. Like, imagine the annual budget to combat air pollution in Delhi is 52 crores out of 62,000 crores. 65,000 crores, which is the annual budget of Delhi. So, there's no political will, there's no political urgency. Everyone just wants to play politics, and children are actually dying. Imagine in 2018, 2019, there were no beds left in ICUs, in our hospitals, because of chronic cases due to pollution. And right now with COVID, we are actually going to be in deep crisis. So it is a crisis that we need to, rather than feeling outraged, we should really wake up. And Nabila, also the other thing is 240, as you said, is okay air. No, 240 is not okay air. Cities shut down when air quality index reaches 200.
Well, we've almost become immune to that.
Index reaches 200.
We've become immune to that, especially Delhi. Let me take that to Sarah. Sarah, like Vimlendu said, the government has not done much to fix the air quality across the country. We agree this is about time that we all act together, and it's an individual responsibility, not just alone the government. But here is United States, which contributes to close to 22% of global emissions, whereas India, despite being such a populous country, 2%. And here is Trump trying to defend himself because he pulled out of the Paris Accord. Ideally, he should be shouldering, the United States should be shouldering the responsibility considering their contribution. And he takes India's name and the same breath that he mentions China and Russia. Even as much as we agree that the air quality must be improved, don't you think that it's about time that India toughens up against Trump?
Nabila, see, I would not comment on the political aspect as of now, because I'll just talk purely that if we, are looking at an existing problem, then we need to look at solutions, because at the same time, we can't really get into any political squabble with, like a world leader. Yes, we need to keep a check. We need to also see we don't get insulted on the world stage. However, we cannot deny the fact that today, 140 million people of India are breathing in air 10 times, more than what the WHO actually recommends to be the safe limit. So I think that should set the alarm bells ringing, because this is not the way our children or teenagers should be breathing in. They're going to have chronic lung diseases. And is this the future that they're going to be with? I think this is a very, very sorry state of affairs. And we must make climate change a priority. We must look at our air and ensure that the children, the citizens get clean air to breathe. Whatever the issue is, why not, ensure that it is rooted out and ensure clean air, clean water to all citizens of the country. Well, let's make that a priority.
Well, Mr. Sriram, here is, you're saying that we shouldn't be, there shouldn't be tit for tat. This is a time that we've got to look into our own misery and try and fix it. But there is Joe Biden taking a chance upon what Trump said and showing a picture of Trump hugging Prime Minister Modi, saying this is a hug with the Prime Minister from filthy India. He calls India filthy, India's air filthy. This is embarrassing, isn't it? And you're saying,
I think Biden is playing. Nabila, in this case, Biden is playing for the Indian American votes there, and
that's all right.
In some of the swing states, there's a possibility that more Indian Americans will vote for Trump than they have done ever for any Republican candidate. So I think Biden is simply trying to, scare Indian Americans, saying, look at this man, he's insulting your country of origin. I think it's a part of the campaigning. And I don't think Biden, of course, Biden is more like a traditional politician. He doesn't fling, allegations and baseless stuff at anybody like this. So in that sense, he's more old school. But I don't think he's defending India either. He's simply using India for his own electoral gains.
Calling us the tariff king, calling India's air is filthy not once, time and again, speaking about air quality, water quality. And this is a time when you have Mike Pompeo trying to come to India. He's come very recently to try and establish ties between the United States and India. If you have that kind of concern about India's air quality and India's filth, don't come.
Well, Nabila, only thing I'll say is, Pompeo, the 2+2 and all those are very substantive issues which have long, strategic import. But Trump's, rhetorical swipes probably don't matter. I mean, he would have already gotten over it in an hour's time, and unless Biden provoked him with this retort video. So I think, this is a lot of rhetoric, and one should not really fall for it, in my view, because we have a China problem. Remember that it's not only air pollution, which is a domestic and a global issue, but we have a national security challenge for which we need the United States. So I don't think we should be, getting hot under the collar over these things, but rather we should point out, as we are doing logically, that the U.S. is at fault and that they better mind what they're doing.
Yes, so you're saying that because we have China to deal with, we're desperate for United States support, and therefore we should be okay with whatever Trump says to us, and repeatedly.
Well, in foreign policy, we have to make some tough choices and difficult calls. Right now, we have an issue with the Chinese, and in the Indo-Pacific, there's a balance of power issue. So for that, the U.S. relationship has to go ahead, even though you occasionally face these kind of slurs. But we are pointing out in a more systematic way.
Look at the bigger picture. Is that what you're saying? Bimla, a quick word from you on that. Apart from
the green transition to developing
between the
countries,
United States and America, apart from that, where we've constantly taken a big beating thanks to Trump, taking us for granted. What should we do next? A quick word.
Nabila, I think the first thing, rather than really, getting so psyched about what Trump has said, all of us for the last 25 minutes have said that Trump was completely false when he was actually talking about this. I think we need to ask those questions of our Prime Minister and of our local leaders. As in, we should not feel so outraged. I think the kind of questions that you were asking, the media is asking, these questions should not be posed to Trump, but to our leaders, Indian leaders who've actually manufactured this bad air that we all are living in. So I think, it's somewhere our outrage is misplaced. It's, we are embarrassed, our air is bad, and therefore let go of Trump and let's ask those tough questions of our Prime Minister and our Environment Minister. Is our air filthy or not? Yes, it is. And did the global state of air 3 days ago say that, millions of people die because of air pollution? Yes, it does. Why are we feeling so embarrassed?
Why we're embarrassed? Because we call Trump as our friend. That's the the bonhomie, the kind of event that he puts forth. That's why it's insulting.
You should do a program asking questions of our Prime Minister than the US President, who's a clown. He's a certified clown.
Right, Vimlendra, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Sriram. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. From what I gather, you say admit it, digest it, work on it. That's what we've got to do. Ignore what Trump said. Work on your own misery here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.